Mr. Quan, the SLFX, Education Supreme over there when it comes to Forex. So we want to just go over with you guys, just introducing who we are, a brief synopsis of what we do in comparison to what's out there and possibilities, and also give you guys a chance to ask some questions. Because I know you guys, when stuff like this happens and you have online meetings, that you often get talked to. So we want to provide an opportunity for you to talk at us or to us, and for us to answer questions or concerns or thoughts that you may have about it. And then we won't keep you any more than about an hour. If you want to stay that long, hopefully you will. So what we have, you guys, is with Steady Investments Club, what we do is we do like a crowdfund in a sense for those who do $1,000 or less of investments, but all accounts we yield 25% a year. And I know it sounds like a lot, and I'm going to go over some of the investment vehicles that are out there that offer a percentage that some of you might be invested in now, so you can see the comparison between us and other investment vehicles that are there. So for us, we do 25% a year, and we don't do any like annual, as far as we don't do fees if you don't make your money. So if you get $1,000 and we said we're going to give you 25% a year over a 4-year course period of time, we end up doubling your account. If by the end of that year time and 4-year time we don't yield the 25% or we don't double your account, guess what? We don't get paid. So we have a strong incentive to make you the money. So that's very different. And you get this personal relationship with us as we're going through and investing your money. If you want an educational side of it, as you are trying to invest your money, trying to make money and grow your wealth, but you also want to learn at the same time, you got Miss Shaquan, and I shouldn't say we got Miss Shaquan. Miss Shaquan got herself. But Shaquan, SLFX, giving an educational opportunity for you guys to be able to grow and learn this Forex market as you're making money at the same time. For those of you who read the email when you were able to go, I do want to hear from you guys when it comes to your investment accounts. Like if you were able to pull your 401k, or if you have TSP or any other like Goldman Sachs, Templeton Franklin, or any of those investment brokers, if you have your money in those, what were your rate of returns over the past year or even past 4 years, and what is the projected amount in the future? I pulled a little bit of data, and I know some of them, well, all of them, because that's what we do. But for 401k, I know that last year that they only yielded 5 to 8% annual return on investments, and that's all of their investments in entirety. For S&P 500, for the last year, they yielded 9.7%, and over the last 20 years, that number is even lower. It was 5.9%. And for the Roth IRAs, 7% to 10%. Now, I just wanted to hit the big ones that I know most people are invested in, or if you're working for a company that your money may be invested in. But I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions, or we can look at your sheet to see how much you've been bringing in from your investments and just have a dialogue. I don't want to talk the whole time. Yeah, I am. Yeah, but that's all I had, you guys. Did anybody was anybody able to look at their investments or see how much they yielded over a course of a year or a course of 4 years? Or you have any questions for us?
I mean, if I might jump in, it can be anything. It could be even a brokerage account, something that maybe you're a trader. What have you done so far this year, or even last year plus this year? What percent have you gained trading? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be just your 401k or anything like that.
I know with a lot of people, I was talking to my mom the other day. She came to visit, and she was saying how she's lost over $20,000 in her 401k with the stock market crash and everything. And even though we can see like some of the stock market the stocks turning around in some sectors, there are other sectors that are being hit even harder. So if some of y'all have like, and let me back up a little bit before I say this next part. A lot of people in the military with TSPs, they've been hit hard as well. So when the crash came, one guy I know, he lost over almost 30 G's, you know, and that hit a lot of people hard. But the sectors are changing in the stock market. Like you got technology pushing up a lot more, retail is pushing up more, but at the same time, on the forex side, even though we're gonna make money trading both ways, retail sales are down. So that means that for some currency pairs with their retail sales, that's affecting the currencies. So just that part alone, you know, it just puts perspective together. Like some of y'all are probably questioning, and I've gotten this question from a lot of people as well, people who trade and invest, should they keep putting money in the stock market? Or should they keep putting money in the forex market and trading it? But a lot of people don't know you can actually invest long-term in the forex market as well too, you know. Even though I teach it, I try to change the perspective of how they trade the forex market to hold long-term. I know y'all gonna go into it, but if y'all could just, you know, later just talk more into that part, you know.
Yeah, yeah. She's absolutely correct. That you guys, most people just trade the forex market, and that's nothing wrong with that. Some people want quick income, but there is a way to invest in the forex market, just like you invest in regular stocks, commodities. So what we'll do then, I gotta say what's up to my Greek brother out there. I see the rings out there, brother. I see the rings. But I want to go over with you guys to show you some of our accounts. Now these accounts are demo accounts of our reels, because we won't want to give out information, people's private information for the people who are investing. So I know a lot of times seeing is believing. So I'm gonna show you some of the accounts that we have done and are doing. And then we'll open the floor for questions. So I'll try to keep it simple. You guys can see on the accounts that we have, let me see if I can move this. And I'll go through various different values of accounts. So this one would be an account that started at 100,000. And we've been getting fortunate with a lot of people who actually want to invest with us. So, and because they see the proof of it. But 100,000 to 2020, and you'll see where it is right now. The equity 725,000. High risk account. So you know what high risk. This person wanted to do high risk. So with high risk account, you do stand to lose. But with the way we generally do it is we only risk about 0.002% of your account unless you otherwise specify, and we guarantee your initial investment. So what that means is if after that first year, 4 year, because we do 4-year contracts, but after the 4 years, let's say we don't yield you we don't double your account, which is 25% every single year. We get, let's say 97%. Then that means you get to keep your initial equity, you get also your initial investment, you get to keep their profits, and we don't get paid anything because we didn't deliver what we said we would deliver. Here's another account, slightly large again, 100,000 to 2, and equity is 305. And I hope you guys are understanding what this is. The equity is the amount that can be pulled out from the account. The balance is the amount that's supposedly in there, but as you guys can see, the equity is above the balance. Same thing again, 2 again, 30,000. $30,000 account. This one's slightly lower than 100,000 initial investment, and this one is at 237,000. Are all of them going to get there that fast? No, but we know we can get you to 25%. It's another one. Make sure 30,000 as well. 233,174. My side, I'm having to move it because it's covering the numbers. Just gonna go. I want to get you guys to answer questions. A lot of people end up investing like $1,000 because honestly, especially in these times, that's what a lot of people can afford. So this account you guys can see is 3 March. This is written like European standard way of writing a date, but 3/12/2020 started with a deposit of $1,000. This account is $4,224, which is 4 times the amount of the initial investment. I got a couple more just to show you guys. $5,000 account. This was done a year, close to a year ago. We're coming up on the anniversary of this. A $5,000 account, which is now at $21,372 in equity. So you guys can see what we're able to do. These are live accounts. These aren't, they're demos of the live accounts because we don't want to give away anybody's information. But you guys can see what we're able to do. Same thing here. An older account, $1,000 account, it is now 4 times the amount. So you guys can see what it is, and we do simple 4-year contracts if you're interested in investing. And we make sure that, hey, you guys agree with the contracts or something that you actually want to do or something that you want to tweak. There's no underline or small print. All right, so I feel like I've talked a whole lot. I want to make sure I'm answering these questions. I just now saw them. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, but these demo accounts are of live accounts. So like, for instance, if we have investors, I know, let's say you invested, James, into the company itself or into the Forex market through us, then what we would end up doing is making a separate account demo that we can show, but it's not your actual account. So no one else sees your information. Yep, these clients, yes, these clients are live.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is Charles. How are you guys?
Hey, Charles.
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. Hey guys, how you doing? I was just waiting to let other people jump in, but so if I understand correctly, and I think I do, you know, like I did $1,000 just to get started because
Yes.
I wanted to see and got my first quarterly report, and saw that. Thank you
Were you
very
happy
much.
with it? Were you happy with it, man? I gotta ask.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm happy. I have no complaints. Trust me, if I had a complaint, I'd have been all up in Shaquan's ear.
I hear you, sir.
No, but I guess what you can maybe explain is how you and I don't care if you was to show my account. I mean, it's $1,000, guys. So I'm not worried about that. When if you wanted to show it, and people really need to believe that I'm in it, I am. But here's the thing. I know you can do like the straight 25%, year over year, but you also showed some of those larger accounts that were more aggressive. Okay, yeah. So maybe you want to explain, maybe, moderate to, in the middle to really aggressive. How do you do that, and what those risk factors are?
Absolutely. I don't want to speak anybody in my group members. Mr. Pierre, did you want to speak on it? Did you want me or Mr. Quan? How did you?
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to overtalk Mr. P. I was just gonna say if you can speak on equity real quick, because we know how to read the journal, right? Some people may see that the account was up, but that red could scare them. Like, what's that red? So if we could speak about equity real quick to build up to how we get that 25%. I think it'll flow.
Okay, Mr. Pierre, did you want?
Yeah, I can add to if we want to get really aggressive, there's a totally different contract that you sign, because when we guarantee that 25% within the club, we intend to make 25% every 4 years. You double your money. That's guaranteed, and we'll give you initial investment money back, even if we don't make anything for you for that 4 years, which nobody does out there in the investment community. But those who want to take that high risk, we don't guarantee it, and you could lose your money completely. Now, some of the people that we are doing it for, they have signed a contract that say, you know what, if I lose this money, I'm not going to cry. I have something else to lean back on. But I don't advise people to go into that unless you know for a fact that you can lose all your money and you're not going to come and, asking us, well, what is your initial investment? So that's the risk factor. So it'll be a totally different contract that you have to sign.
And is there a minimum for that type of contract to do that?
We haven't really set minimum, but we try not to take anything less than 25.
Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, because as you know, the basic premise of kind of what we're doing, it took us, this is going on, I believe, 6 or 7 years for us investing for people, and 12 years for myself. He is 15 of doing this. So when we do the accounts, it takes a lot of work. There's just not a machine. It's not automated. We crack the numbers. We put everything in, and we're doing the ebb and the flows of the market. So we want to ensure that when the market goes up, you make money. The market goes down, you make money. We're taking advantages of both sides through a series of mathematical algorithms. So that we do personally. So when we go in, if I'm answering the question correctly, please stop me if I'm not. The 25,000 that we do for the people who want to be really aggressive, it allows us to still go in relatively small as far as the percentage wise of risk, but still yielding you the money. Whereas if I were to do the same thing on a $1,000 account, the risk would be through the roof.
Okay.
So this is why Mr. P is saying that most of the time it's 25,000 and above that people are giving that want the really risky account. But please, again, those are people that say, hey, I'm not worried about that money.
Right.
Risk it.
Okay.
I want to make sure. Yes, sir.
So I know some of the other people that people may be following, and not really, Forex, but say for instance, you want to do the aggressive account of 25,000, can you make that like in 2 payments instead of it, or does it all have to be at one time?
You can do 2 installments.
Okay.
We would wait until we have everything together to
Got it.
to put it at that level.
Got you.
Yeah, because it's the percentage of risk that we're more. Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think you got a question there in your chat. Can you add money throughout the year?
Yeah, and someone said they should make sure of accounts for. Yeah, okay, I got you. How do you get paid? So once the amount is made, 4 years is up, you doubled your account, and let's say you want your equity, your initial investment, your profits back. That's fine. It'll be sent directly to your bank account, wire transfer, ACH, any avenue that can get the money to you. Now, some people, I know the plan that we've written out with them is they want to wait 8 years, 10 years, 8 years, 16 years, and then they want to draw money off the residual of their initial investment growing. So let's say they took a $1,000 account and it got to $10,000, $20,000. And then after that, they want just 25% to be dumped into their bank account, but keep the initial investment growing. So that's an option as well. I hope I answered that correct, James. If not, please chime in, no problem. And it says, can you add money throughout the year? Only yes, money every 4 years. No, you can add money throughout the year. Just please through communication, giving us a heads up, make sure we put in it that it's coming from you, that we put into your account. And the reason we do it that way is also because you have a tracking. So when you send us the money, it comes from your bank, and you have legal documentation as well to say, hey, yeah, this money was sent at this time on this day. But you can definitely add to the account. Okay, I want to make sure I'm answering.
And somebody asked, how do we get paid? Simply, the way we get paid is after we have made you your 25%. Anything we make above that, that's how we get paid. So if we don't get 25%, we don't get paid. And we are different than most, I'll say all investment companies. Of course, we are not, big investment companies out there or brokerage firms. We are a club. But at the same time, that's why we don't charge people's fees, because, most clubs that you go into, they want you to pay upfront fee before you become a member. And after you become a member, sometimes they will tell you, oh, we will teach you this strategy, and they want you to do it on your own. Well, you know what? We have been doing this for a long time, and we've had a lot of experience and a lot of different strategies we've tried out. And because of our intellectual property, we are not going to be teaching it to people because we put a lot of years into it. And that's why we guarantee what we guarantee, because we know we can make it. A lot of people say, I'm going to do it on my own, but you wind up losing more money you know, and people, let's just be real. Even if you start today, you're not going to become profitable. Any business, you're not going to become profitable until maybe 5 years after. So the amount of money you're going to use, you know, trying to do this on your own, you know, from the get-go, if you invest it for people who know what they're doing, you're going to be better off. Now, that's not taken away from you maybe studying for so many years, and then you take control of your own investment. But of course, you know, I cannot determine how successful someone becomes. Some people are luckier than others. I can only speak from my learning and my journey. You know, honestly, I lost more money when I first started because I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. You know, you win sometimes, but then sometimes you don't want your greed get in the way and you end up losing it all. So, you know, it's up to individuals, but you can learn it on your own, but don't expect to become a millionaire overnight. It's not gonna happen.
I think one thing too, well, two things. Number one, can y'all mute your mic, please? That's the first thing. But number two, I would say I like the way this is set up because when y'all talk about fees, when companies want to pay upfront fees, and like Bob was saying, depending
Hold
on
on, Mr. Klein. I know it's kind of hard for them to hear. You guys out there, can you please mute your mics? I appreciate it. Thank you.
Depending on what company you go with, when we talk about fees, and I'm glad I hit on the different amounts, and thank you, Charles, for even asking that question and bringing up the aggression in which you can ask, you know, them to go in for your risk. Because when you talk about the different amounts, a $25,000 account is obviously going to yield more of a return than a $1,000 account, but you still get a reward. But if you pay that upfront fee, and some companies charge you monthly fees, some companies charge you quarterly fees, some companies charge you annual fees. But depending on that fee, those fees could eat up your profits. It could eat up your return. If at the end of the year, you get a return, that's the gamble, right? And I like what they're saying is we're not going to we're not going to charge you a fee. You see what I mean? We're only going to get paid after we make that 25% through the year, or after we double your account at the end of the 4 years. And that's what we make. So your fees are not, your profits won't be eaten up by fees. So that's really a good thing. You don't hear companies talk about that. So it's kind of like we got your back up front, you know? So that's the one thing that I really like about it here, if you really look at it. I just wanted to say that because I know some people get confused in the numbers. Like if you have $1,000 account, 25% of that is what, $25 the end of the year, right? Mm-hmm. So if that's $25 at the end of the year and you're being charged whatever fee, if they don't make that, and this could be for anybody, if they don't, let's say that the fee is maybe 1 to 2%. But what if, and I'm not talking about you guys putting the company, but what if that company only makes you 2 or 3%? You see what I mean? Your profit is now gone. So that's something that, you know, just think about those numbers, right? Think about the numbers. So just something to think about, you guys.
Yeah, and I think James had a question too. I don't know if
yes, James' question is, this is a 4-year contract, so you can't take your money out until after 4 years. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Well, yes.
I don't know if you want to say it out loud.
Yeah. Okay. So do you guys, first of all, do you guys deal with people that are international?
Yes, we do. And Mr. P is actually in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Secondly, so after the 20, so it's 4 years, right? So basically, I give you X amount of dollars or whatever it is, and after the 4 years is when I can cash out. So
yes. Delayed gratification. Yes, sir.
In terms of that, is it just signing the contract? Is there any other processes that are required?
No. So we go over the contract together, try to make sure that it's plain for both parties. There's no hidden print or anything. We send it to you. You say, hey, I like this. I don't like this. Can we modify this? Can we do this? Or, you know, and then we send it back to you. Then after that, only after that, is an exchange of funds. So that way you have tracking documentation and as well as a contract to show that your money is with us for the duration, at least the duration of those 4 years.
Okay. And it has to be 4 years. It can't be like 2 years or are you guys
Well,
flexible? I'm just asking, right? Because like,
yeah, yes. We said the 4 years, yes. And that's what the reason why we ask people before we allow them to invest is because we want to make sure the money you are investing is not something that you are thinking about 6 months, 1 year down the road, you're going to have a need for it. And the reason why is because the whole point of investment is to make sure you grow wealth. And so if you're not ready to commit that amount, then you are not ready honestly, you're not ready to invest. You might as well just put in some savings account. Now, you can take it, if something comes up, you want to take it, you can, but that 25% is not going to be guaranteed because our program, the way we program it is programmed based on that amount of time. And the market does not go, in one direction and keep going in one direction forever. If it did, no one would need, an investor or any company to do it for them. And so the time that you might have a need for it, the program might be going on the negative side for us. The program goes positive and negative side at all times, but we know how long it will take for the program. Doesn't matter how it swings within that time frame, how we program it, we're going to come out ahead. So the
okay.
time that you need it, if the program is negative, your equity or your balance could be, below what you gave us. So if we close it out, that's what you will get.
Okay. And it's 25% every year, right? For the
Yes.
4 years. So after, if I drop, for example, for the grand, after the 4 years, I would be at
You
$2
have
grand,
2,000, yes.
Yes.
right?
At
Right.
least.
Okay. I'm liking what I'm hearing. So, and it's better rates than me actually putting in the savings account, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Because I just wanted to know if you guys deal with international, because I'm in Canada, so that's why I wanted to know.
Oh, I love
Oh, yes.
Canada, man. Oh.
Oh yeah, man. Like, just let me know how to get started, because like this is literally a no-brainer.
Yeah, and you guys, like Mr. P is saying, I know you don't hear this probably from most people who do investments or in the financial market. We're looking out more so for people's well-being. Are we trying to make a profit too? Of course. But for us to have delayed gratification like this and to say that we don't get paid until you get paid, if I were hearing that, that would be enough incentive for me. To be honest with you, we wanted to have it fair, and we wanted to also have it to where we're helping people. We're not just trying to beat you over the head to say we're going to get paid off of every little move that you do. We invest the money. I know it's delayed gratification, but that's what true wealth is for most people. You talk to most people who are in billionaire status, which I'm headed that way. But and being, they'll wait 7 years to get a jet plane made, or 4 years for a house to get completed. It's delayed gratification because you know what the outcome is going to be in the end for you, or at least the ones that you love. So yeah, go ahead, James. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Another question, because I'm a young person, right? And the reason why I found out about this, believe it or not, was social media. So,
Okay.
I mean, I've said to myself, I kind of want to be able to, buy a house and do all these cool things, even when the market, because I know Forex, you make money either whether the market goes up or down. It doesn't matter. So, I mean, is there any other stipulations that you have to know about, or that you're required to know about?
Yeah, no, sir. No fine print, no nothing. It's just the 4 years, 25% a year. And like Mr. P is saying, if you gave it to us and let's say 2 years down the line, you're like, yeah, I gotta have this money back. We have to give it to you at market value. Wherever your account is, that's where we're gonna extract it. So if at that time it's still cycling through based on the program we did, and let's say you're down 10% of your account, we'll give you that investment back. But it's because it didn't finish the 4-year cycle that we know we can do.
Does it usually take for your investment vehicle, does it usually take 4 years for you guys to actually annualize a profit based on what you guys are seeing? Because
No, it doesn't. It usually doesn't take 4 years, but this is just kind of a safety net for us. So just in case, let's say at the 3-year mark, your balance, let's say you gave $1,000. I'll try to keep it in terms of money. You gave $1,000, and at the third year, your balance may be at $2,000. So your balance is actually double, but your equity may be at $980. Well, because of the math that we've done, we have to give it that time. And let's say you come to us like, we got to pull it out. Then at 989 or 960, whatever it's at, we'll give you that money back. But you have, in a sense, lost the 2,000 that you could have made if you had waited a little bit more time.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. And it's
yeah.
only because we don't pretend like we're psychics. We don't pretend that we know that the market, ooh, I look and yeah, it's guaranteed this news is coming out about the Japanese yen and it's going to shoot up. We don't trade like that. We make money whether it goes up or it goes down. And it's so much based on math. I was a math teacher. Mr. P was in finance. So this is strictly based on some mathematical algorithms that we created, our intellectual property. So we're not looking for the market to shoot one way or another and you to get paid based on the fluctuation of price going in one direction.
Okay. All right. How do we contact you?
Oh man, you can contact us through, I'll put the email address over in the side box. Were you able to go to the website, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
But I will, I thank you for asking that question. I'll put it over into the side box for our email address and you can email us and we can have another private conversation about your goals, what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to do your investments, because it's not just okay, give you your money, we got you, we'll send you an invoice and so on and so forth. We really want to hear where you're coming from and where you're trying to
go. Okay. All right.
Just to add to that, about a week ago, we just finished helping someone like this, and I'll give you the short story. The person I'm talking about is actually my friend. I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And when I introduced this to him, he was talking about, okay, it was too good to be true. So he gave us $5,000, and less than a year, we made it more than 25%. And he has like professional investment company that he normally puts his money into. And so one of the, I guess the fund manager, he told him about us, and the fund manager was doubting that this is good to be true. And so maybe he thought we were joking. So he contacted us, and I told him we would do it for a year for him just to show him that we can do it. So when we sent his money back, he's made his 25% in less than a year. And he was like, wow. And the guy, the money manager at the company, wherever he invests, was saying, well, I need to see it to be true. He said, they already sent me the money. It's true. Okay, so you know what he's done? He's closed his account over there and he's sending us his money. He's already deposited, over $20,000 with us last week.
Yeah. And I don't, to answer the question, it's along the same lines, Mr. Pia, is someone asked, once they reach 25%, what is the percentage of fees / pub fees? So beautiful that you asked. So let's say we reach the 25%. Any percentage that we have to make over that percentage for us to get paid. So basically, you pay nothing. So
sweet.
All right. I thought someone was saying something. I didn't want to cut. Okay. So if you make let's say that first year you make the 25%, second year 25, and then you get to the fourth year and you can build your account. Well, if we don't make anything over that 25%, we don't get paid. So if your account, when we send the invoices out at the end of that 4 year, you see that my account is at $2,000. Well, if it's not 2,000 plus, we don't get paid. You get $2,000 deposited back into your account if you so choose, or reinvest it. But our incentive, and I think it's our way of being transparent, to keep it honest, is that we don't get paid unless we make it to 25%.
Yeah, and let me just add to this, the brokerage firm that we go through, when I transfer the money from the bank account, like we get charged fees. You all know how American banks work. Anything they do for you, they got to get something out of it. And so if you bring me $1,000, when I transfer that $1,000, by the time it gets to the brokerage account, it might be like $980 or less. So the company's already, we are behind. but we don't pass that cost on to you. We picked it up. So you don't really, the total amount you send to us is not the total amount that gets deposited. It is, but we are charged on the back end and we have to pay for it. So already the company is being, we already, you know, in a way giving you money for free because we don't charge you those fees. And we put exactly the same amount you give us into the brokerage account. And they deduct it from our personal accounts or the company personal account. So before we even set up your account, we've already given you some money because we pay for those transaction fees.
I think that Daniel wanted to ask the question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I'm very new to this. I saw this information on Shaquan's Instagram page. I'm very new to Forex, very new to trading and everything. So, but I think I'm liking what I'm hearing. But my question is, if I started with like, so let's say like $1,000 now, and I start adding up money to that account to the next 4 years. So does that mean that my initial deposit will be whatever I've added all through those 4 years, and my profit will be based on everything I've added from year 1 to the 4th year? So say for instance, my 4th year now, I added up to like, let's say 50,000 and I started at 1,000. So is my 25% going to be based on my 50,000 after my 4 years?
Yes.
Yes, Daniel,
If I'm hearing,
I can answer that. You can jump in. I'll let you want to take it, Gwen. That's fine.
no, please.
Daniel, it's because when you give us 1,000, let's say today, and we program it, our program is based on that 1,000. Now, every time you give us money, we're going to put it into your account, but we may not reprogram it unless it's a big difference. You see what I'm saying? Because it takes a while for us to do the programming. So as the money's working, the extra that you have deposited might sit there for a while until we see a good place. Or let's say in 5 months to come, the equity now is above the 1,000. Then we can say, you know what? Let's close it and recalculate it based on the total amount you have at that point. Does that make sense?
Because what it is, and thank you, it's a percentage thing. So when we first go into your account, let's say it's $1,000 account and we're investing in a certain currency, and we're only doing 0.002%, which is like 2 cents on $1,000 that we're investing. Well, you end up contributing another 1,000, another 500, so on and so forth. We want to keep that percentage stable, so we can't reprogram until that percentage is matched up to where we can go in at that 0.002%. We want to keep you safe. But I think the question you're asking is, once you get to the 50, let's say we make you that 50,000, then after that 4 years, yes, the 25% is going to be of the 50,000, not the 1,000. I think that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So, but as far as the percentage, I mean, that's what you guys do. But what I'm asking is, if eventually, and after my 4 years, because I intend to put in money, I mean, maybe like, every month or every year. If I put up to $50,000, so will my profit be based on my $50,000, or is it going to be what you started off with?
It'll always be started off whatever your investment is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that?
Yeah, because you are going to be added in, so at some point the amount will be changing. But what I'm trying to communicate is this: let's say on the 4th year you decide to dump in 30,000. Let's say from year 1 to year 3 you dump in 20,000, and then on the 4th year, beginning of the 4th year, you give 30,000. Well, at that point, based on when you started, if we calculate from when you started to that 4th year, we cannot give you 25% based on that. I mean, 25% based on that, a 4th year alone, because it's not been there to work for that amount of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Right. And so that's when we will talk with you and look at the structure, how you want to do it. And then we can tell you, okay, if that's the case, maybe you start with 1,000, in 3 years, it's up to 20,000. We got to find a time frame that we can start calculating that time from. So it's not disadvantage to you and it's not disadvantage to us.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And like Mr. P was saying, I'm glad you brought that up, Daniel. Is we've had people, do 20,000, 50,000, and so on and so forth. When you guys send that money, the bank charges us. So like the recent transaction we did, it was almost $1,000 to put that in, but we didn't expect that of the client. We paid that on our own. That way, that person's initial investment of 20,000 was a $20,000 account. We didn't take any fees out.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Let me make sure that it says 4 years minimum, correct? Yeah, it's a 4-year contract. And the funds do not get distributed annually. And it's not like it's not a drip in the sense of you getting the money out. So it's a drip or a dividend reinvestment. You get the 25% for the first year, and then it gets recycled back in. So you make more money based on compound interest for the next year. So that's how we can say that we, after 4-year time frame, we double your account, but we don't distribute the money annually. Let me see. With committing to a 4-year investment, do we still have the option to invest an additional broker account? Yeah. So remember, we're a club, so this is us coming together. So it's not like we're offering any financial advice or anything like that. But yes, you can definitely reinvest into the account that you already have existing, or you can give us the option to say, hey, no, this is for my kid, this is for my wife or my husband, or so on and so forth, my brother, sister. Can you please put this in a separate account from the one that I had going with you guys 3 months ago? So you can definitely set up different ones. No, so returns is 40%. Yeah, basically, yes. When we keep it fair, you guys, but we make sure that the 25%. I think the question is anything above that 25%. Yes, but you'll get your statement to see what we made you. We'll have a dialogue and conversation, but you know that at least you get that 25%. The above the 25% is what we're trying to get in order for us to get paid, because we don't charge you fees. I hope I answered that question correctly. Okay. Are there any other questions? I know we're getting close to like the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I think when you read that question, maybe, say for instance, my account makes 60%.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think maybe they're asking, so I only get the 25% and you get the difference between the 25 and the 60? Like all that goes to you?
Well, no.
Yes, let's just be in plain. Yes, let me tell you the reason why. Yes, because we have a lot of, not just us that you see right here. We also have people that work behind the scenes for us, and we got to pay them. And so it's not just 2 or 3 people, taking that 60%. But even if, let's just say it was 3 people, if you make 60%, you get 25, and we get 35%. We got to divide that among at least 3 people, not including the other people that work for us and do our website and send information out and things like that. Yes. Now, if we make 100%, are you only going to get 25%? No, but that discretion is based on the club. Because
Okay.
I want to retain you to stay with me. Even though I know 25%, you're not going to get it out there anywhere. I still want to make sure that you do get a little bit more than what we say if we, locking in, 100% or 200%. The whole point is to make sure that your money is working for you and it's working for us as well.
Okay, and I think one of the other questions, if the person wanted to open up an additional account, will you guys train and teach them to do that themselves so they get to keep everything? So they give you one account as part of the club, but then they want to open up a separate account and maybe have Shaquan or somebody train them how to do it themselves So they get to keep all whatever they make in that account. I think that's one of the questions from Jess/Perlish.
Well, I can pick that up, or Quinn, you can step in. So if you want to control your own account, the only thing you need to do is get the education, and you can set up the account. We don't even need to set the account up for you.
Right.
And so you can do it on your own, whichever brokerage firm you decide to go through. That's up to you. So we will have nothing to, control over anything, because that's your mind, that's your way of doing it. So we will have no control over it. You keep whatever you make.
Yeah, if y'all need help with that part though,
Yeah.
I can definitely do that. Help you guys with it. I don't personally, like Mr. P is saying, we don't choose brokers for you outside of the investment club. We cannot legally do that for you. We cannot legally set that up for you. But I can talk to you about, help you try to figure out which broker is for you. I can give you a website to help you filter out the information you need to find your own broker, because not every broker will fit everyone. Not every broker will take you if you are a U.S. client or a Canadian, a U.S. resident or a Canadian resident. Brokers have their own rules, stipulations, and compliances as well too. But if you do need help, I can help you with that. If you are wanting to learn how to trade for yourself so that you can keep your own money, I can help you with that as well. I typically have people up and running now with my new program in about 3 weeks. If I train you privately as a client, just depends on how you want to go. But the investment and the teaching side, even though we are together, 2 separate services. Okay.
And you guys, Ms. Shaquan is really helping you guys out, those of you really want to learn. So you do have the option, which I know is not prevalent in a lot of financial institutions, where not only can you invest and make your money, make your 25% a year, but you can also work with someone to say, okay, how can I gain the knowledge and figure this thing out on my own so I can take charge of some of my investments while I'm also making money on investments that I put away in the same entity. And you guys, this thing is bigger than the stock market. I don't know if we have anybody out there who trades the stock market. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Please know that we're not saying don't trade the stock market. But the Forex market is much larger than the stock market. And as far as the volatility and also even safety net, you get a lot more with Forex because it is not tied to one single commodity or entity. So if you get some Nike shoes and a Nike CEO is having a rough time and he decides to rob somebody or hurt somebody, it could hurt the company. You would see the stock fall. With the currencies, one person can't necessarily influence the fluctuation of price like they can in the stock market. Now, the country's on an economic recession or something's happening, yes, but the money is always in exchange. So, let me see. All right.
Yeah, just to add to that, like what is going on right now, in order for a country to cease to exist, it's got to be taken over by or invaded by another country. But the currency, the value of the currency can always go down, but it never ceases to exist. And before they even put a currency on the currency market, they got to make sure that the country's currency that they're putting on the market has some kind of stability. They don't just start listing them. Look, originally, I was born in Ghana. We don't have the Ghanaian cities on the stock market exchange because Ghana economy is not strong enough for them to be listed. So those currencies you see, they are proving themselves, those nations are proving themselves that they deserve to be on there. So in order for you to see that, currency is completely out, it is very rare. You might see some delisted from a certain brokerage firm is because maybe a lot of people are not trading it. They might delist it, but that's not because the country, its economy is not well. It's well, but people may not just want to trade it because the volume is not there for it. Okay, so. And we don't do stocks. We are currency investors. Most of the time when you hear people talk about currencies, you're talking about trading currency. We don't trade it. We invest in it, just like people invest in companies. Because we don't need to trade it. I don't have time to be sitting in front of the computer every minute of the day. And that's why we developed this system. Once we program our system, we walk away. We might revisit it maybe, a month or two later, and we are not worried because we know the system has been proven to be right. So we just monitor it to make sure it's doing what it's doing.
Okay, that's good. I think that last question you have down there is the one that people keep coming back to. And it's a good question.
Yeah.
If you make 100%, how you determine I only get 25 and you get to keep 75? That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
Hey, can I ask a question really quick?
Sure.
When y'all invest your money, let's say a 401k, or let's say an IRA, whatever, and they say, hey, we'll get you 10%. Y'all think they're not getting more than that? Like, but y'all don't see it. And I really need y'all to understand that. Y'all don't see that. You see what I mean? So and think about it like this, like they said, there's more people to pay, systems, and they even told it up front, if the bank charges them a fee, they take care of that. You see what I mean? So there are even back-end expenses that come out of it, and labor. Think about labor, right? They're saying we're crunching the numbers. We're up. We're putting in the work for it. And if we do get 100%, it's up to the club to say, hey, instead of giving them 25, let's give them 35. You see what I mean? Let's give them 40. It's been a dang on good 4 years. You see what I mean? And so, I would just think about that,
Yeah, and you guys, the same thing happens when you invest in stocks.
Yeah.
If you're getting any type of compound interest within stocks, the company, those of you that know, the company says that we're going to give out a certain amount of dividends based on a proportion of how many shares that you have in that company. They're really not that transparent with it. And especially when it comes to your retirement accounts. Mm-hmm. Those of you who are getting 4, 5, 6, 8% a year, if you were to go through and look at those same companies, they're getting 14, 15, 17% annually, but you were only cut out 5 or 6%. And that's based on knowledge level and also labor. So, but it's a really good question. But we are transparent, you guys. We'll send the statements out to you and let you know what it is and have a conversation. It's not us, as you can see, trying to get over on anyone. But good question.
I'll take 25% because that's better than hey, what's going on right now. I mean, I come from the banking world. Right now, with interest rates low at the majority of banks, man, you got a $1,000 account. They're saying, hey, we'll give you, like we just opened up a new bank where we live now, right? And I was looking at the savings interest rates that they'll give you, and it's like less than 0.1%. I said, Charles, I can beat that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can have my trade running, and whether the market fluctuates up or down, I can give myself maybe 10% by the end of the month. So maybe depending on how the market works. So why would I keep and there's nothing wrong with having a savings account because you do need liquid cash. You need liquid funds. But why would I keep my investment portion in a savings account? Mm-hmm. And it's really something to think about. And I think that's why we do trust, other investment vehicles, especially in these times now. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Just something to think about.
So this is my last question, and I'll let this one go.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
If you go to do it, say the aggressive way, okay, and like you had that one account, I think somebody invested 100,000 and it's up to 700. That was impressive. I'm like looking at that thing like, okay, 700,000 in less than a year. So how do you determine what percentage of that 700,000 I get to keep and what percentage?
No. With that type of contract, I don't mean to cut you off or the aggressive. Yeah. It's definitely an open dialogue as far as what the percentage, and I don't mean to cut you off. I know you're investing in with us too, and like how we were very transparent with you. If somebody comes in and they say they're given 100,000, which I know a young lady is thinking about doing that now, we want to have a straight open conversation. Okay, we're investing this much. It's going to be this much percentage risk that we're doing, but the potential is this much gain that you could possibly get. It's not like we're saying, okay, you made 100, you're at 100, 100, let's say even $200,000. We're not going to give you $200,000 and then, but we made 700,000 on top of it. We let you know and be transparent. We talk about it. I just didn't. That is a very specified conversation.
All right.
Between, you see what I'm saying, sir?
Yeah.
This is a good question.
Okay.
And yeah, also you have to remember at that point they're taking a different level of risk. So if their money was to get blown, they're not going to come stand for me to give them their money back. So they will get more.
Correct. Okay.
I see how it's at because the 25 keeps coming up. I think it's no matter what you invest, you just get 25%. Because it's the same, almost like the same question over and over. I see it.
Yeah, whatever the amount is, whether it's 1,000 or 20,000. Now remember, it's the same rate of return, but the actual amount is going to be different because of what you came in with.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
So so here's my thing, because everyone's talking about the profits and everything. How can you guys guarantee 25% annually on $1,000? That's $250 every year for 4 years. That's better than most banks. I mean, I put money in a savings account. I mean, I'm getting 1.00% every year.
Yeah, that's okay. Quentin might be a good time to maybe show some account. Like I wish the market was live so you see that this is real is running. But how can we do it? Because we've studied this for a long time, and it took us so many years to make sure we've tried it and make sure that the strategy holds and the program holds. And so, can you do it? Yes. Banks. I'm not going to say the banks are able to do it, but whether they're able to do it or not able to do it, we know we can do it. And if we are making the money, we believe that people should get more than 20, at least 25%. Like you yourself have just said. Even if you have $100,000, you take it to a savings account that's interest yielding. In order for you to get more than 2%, they're going to start to tell you, well, it's got to be $100,000, and you got to live it in there for a certain amount of time before they'll give it to you. Okay, for me, that's an insult. If you go put $100,000 there and they're telling you can't even get 2%, they're wasting my time and my energy because I know it can be done easy. Just loaning the money out to someone for a mortgage, and they pay on the mortgage for, let's just say, 3 months, you've made more than $2,000, $3,000 profit on your money. So why don't they give it to you? That's the question.
Yeah, and I think that that's what we ask you guys, if you could bring up your your investment accounts that you have going, because I think you'd be shocked to see that even though they're kicking you out a certain percentage, they're also taking a large percentage from you. And they have to make a lot of it public. It's just people don't know how to read their statements. So it's not that it's this outlandish thing that is being done. It's just that we're being transparent to give it out. If you think about this, if you've driven by a Goldman Sachs building, or you've driven by Bank of America, you've driven by Scottrade, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, those are huge buildings with a large staff of people. So how are they able to take the accounts that they have, charge very little fees, even though they charge fees, and supposedly only make you a certain amount of percentage, but have such a large place of business? It's because there's a lot more money that's being made that's definitely not being distributed to you. If I can say it like that. Does that answer your question, or am I don't want to be muddled. I really want to answer what you're asking.
No, you're speaking facts. Like it's there. So
and just to add to that, if you remember a while ago, I just gave you a story about a friend of mine just gave us $5,000, and he had a brokerage firm, and the account manager was doubting. It's because the account manager that's sitting there is not able to do it because they don't know about the market, how the market really works. They've just been hired to to pretty much in a sense feed you a lot of bullshit that excuse my language, that a company has built, and so you go in there, you're not going to ask them any questions because what? It is who? Goldman Sachs. Everybody knows them. But that person that's sitting over there taking your money and saying, we're going to invest it for you, he has no clue. He probably just graduated from school and he doesn't have any experience in the market for the market to teach him, based on psychology, based on reaction to when market operating, how you react to it. He has no clue. So he's going to doubt because it's been put inside his head that you don't tell people this. You only tell them you can only do this. And it's difficult to make the money. Yes, it is. I'm not going to lie to you. We spend a lot of time, doing studies and trying things out. I'm not going to tell you that, everybody can do it, but they're not going to, a lot of them, they don't know what they're doing because the people that get out there to come and talk and convince you, they have no experience. That's just the fact. And they will doubt because they have never, I guess they have not been put inside the pool for them to swim. When I went to my Marine Corps officer training, they push you in the water, survive or die. Okay, most of those people, they got parents who are rich, they have connection, so they hook them up with the job that they don't have any experience in to tell you whatever you want to hear. That's the best way I can explain it. But we've tried it, we've done it, we have the experience to do it.
Good question. Yeah, we want to make sure that we answer every. I know it's we're about 8 minutes past time, and I want to stay honest and true to what we said we were going to do. If you have more questions, you guys, please again don't hesitate to email us. I can put the email back inside the chat box. Contact us. Those of you know Mrs. Shaquan, please get in contact with her. She definitely knows how to get in contact with us. And that's it. I do appreciate you guys being in the chat and talking to us. Thank you, Mr. Kwan, for posting that for me. But that's it, you guys. That's all I have.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have more questions, we'll answer anybody's questions. If you have them.
Yeah. And if not, you guys, you're not obligated to stay. You're good to go. We put our email in there. Email us at your early convenience. Go on our website. Check us out. And
And we'll be posting videos, so you can also watch our YouTube channel. Sometimes we'll go and update some of our accounts. We might set one up live, and go back and visit it to see how it's doing. We never show our programming because that's our intellectual property. And so that would defeat the whole purpose. But everything you see, all the accounts we put out there, they are yielding those percentages. It's not fake. It's live. You see when we do it, it's running live.
Y'all post y'all. Oh, never mind.
no. That's for the website, the YouTube channel.
Yeah, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, you guys, the website is gonna be updated soon. There's some stuff that has to be updated on the website, but focus on the investment part, please. Because some of it does have to be updated. Okay. Are you putting the YouTube name in there, Mom?
Yeah, I'm trying to. It should be just under Steady Investments Club, but I'm trying to go in there now. I don't know if it's because of my bandwidth.
Yeah, I just put YouTube Steady Investments Club.
Okay.
And yeah, we don't give investment advice because we don't have the necessary requirement that you have to advise people where they should put their money. The only thing we can tell you is when you are inside as a club member, we invest the money because we know how to do it. But I'm not going to see and tell you, go put your money here, go put your money here. That's not, you have to find someone that does that professionally.
All right, Miss Joy, have a good one. Doc asks, does anyone have their 69 or 65?
Say that part again. I'm sorry.
Does anyone have their series license 79 or 65?
I used to have 7, but it expired. I have no intention of renewing it because I'm not going to go work for anyone or open a brokerage firm.
Yeah, and I went for financial grad school, Series 9, but again, like Mr. P is saying, I don't want to open up a brokerage and charge people and get paid based on fees. I want to be able to help people grow their account.
And that's why we say that we are not financial advisors, because legally we cannot give you that type of advice. And to legally give that advice, you have to have those licenses, and we don't need it for what we do. Yeah. That's a good question too, though, Doc. He gives a lot of good information, though, y'all. He always in my Instagram every day. He gives a lot of good information. He said, understood, and plus you be limited to legal advice. Exactly. Yeah. It's like real estate. I don't know if any of you know about wholesaling real estate, but once you get your license, there's some things you're restricted to do. Yeah. So over both of those, a license can restrict your freedom from doing things. And so that's how it is for us. We can show y'all things, we can say it's for educational purposes, and just like what we're doing now, we can do it legally. But the moment we say specifically, buy here, buy there, sell here, sell there, this currency pair, that currency pair, put this amount, put that amount, we have to have a license. And that's why I'm careful with signal services. Yeah. Because a lot of illegal signal services out here. Yep. That's why I am careful and I don't do them, because it is illegal. A lot of people, a lot of Forex traders don't know that though. Legally, people are doing things illegally. Yeah. So I really want to put that out there. And
it would impede on us being able to give the 25% a year too.
Exactly.
Because of the Securities Exchange Commission. Yep. So we want to make sure that we're able to help people out. But do we have the knowledge? Absolutely.
Right. Right. And two, I don't know if y'all get this out of Mr. P, but I get it every day where let's be candid about this for just a bit, you guys. We understand when you come into a financial world like this, because Daniel, I don't know if he's still on here, but he just said, hey, I'm new to this. Yeah. And sometimes, you get people who want you to walk them through every single step and every single process of what you do. And it's understandable, you guys, we get it. We're new to a lot of people, which is why we either show the knowledge side on the course and education side, or we show the numbers here to say, hey, we have the numbers to back it up. And we have the knowledge to back it up. But at the same time, someone's putting in the work. Either we're putting in the work behind the scenes, or you're gonna put in the work behind the scenes. You see? But with Forex is a little bit different, you guys. I promise you. But if you come into it with the mindset of to hold, it's really worth it. It really is. But you can't expect everything from one person, because this market is too big and it changes all the time, which is why I love that they're saying, your equity could be up, but you, like how you guys saw that the equity was up, but the balance with the what was it on the side of mine? The balance was red, right?
Yes.
But if you don't know that at first sight, how do you know how to navigate through it? You see what I mean? So you got people who already know how to do it, and it's like invest with them and get the knowledge at the same time of what that is and what that looks like, so you can understand.
Yeah.
But if we had stipulations on us, there's some things legally we would not be able to do. So we just don't want to be held bound to those things. We want our freedom. So we like what we do, you guys. We're what's the word? You guys are like more position traders. You guys position.
And you guys, my last comment is and maybe when we have some more sessions, I'll show and give you a little nugget, because I know Miss Shaquan is always like, you got to give them something,
Yeah.
And she's right. But I could take your balance if you gave $1,000, even 100,000. I could draw your balance down to negative 100,000 and have your equity at 200,000. Very possible in the Forex market that people don't understand.
Yeah.
The balance means nothing.
Nope.
And so, I shouldn't say it means nothing, but it doesn't have the amount of significance you think it does. The equity is what you can pull out, just like equity in your home, equity in your car, whatever the case is. So I give you that little bit of nugget just to give you an understanding of what we understand about the market and how we're able to make the money. But I really don't want to go too far over time. I do want to answer the questions, but if you guys have to go, I understand.
Doc asks, is there a way to see the contract for review prior to deciding?
Yeah, definitely. If you can, just email us. Like I just got an email from someone asking for, that she wants to move forward. And what's the next step.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Did she actually didn't turn her mic on?
I'm ready for that walkout.
No, I think she's
Making sure.
Oh, you might have to.
Okay, 10-4.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, if you as far as the contract, if you email us, we can email you a blank contract so that way you can at least see it. So you know what to, how you want to move forward, what you want to change. We're very transparent with that and have a conversation with what you like about it, add a beneficiary and so on.
I have a good question. Would they be able to see a recording of this? Will you guys put it up on YouTube?
Yeah, I believe we could, Mr. P, we put take this and put it on YouTube.
It is being recorded, and so we would decide, which media avenue we're gonna go and post it. So most likely, yes.
Okay. I'll talk to you about the recording after this.
Yes, ma'am.
Show you some good ways to do that. In different areas. Okay.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or things you want to talk about? I want to stick pretty close to the time, guys, because I do value your time and I appreciate you being here. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Oh, there you go, Daniel. He's right there.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that. And thank you for your questions. So I just want to make sure you guys are good. You need to please reach out to us. You guys, you got our email address. You see our website. And that's it, you guys. We'll probably hold a couple more of these. Even I got you there, brother. I got you. It's nothing but love, Greek. It's nothing but love. But yeah, we're here though, you guys. If you need us, we'll hold some more stuff. I'll host some more sessions for you guys.
I think we should host some more in the future real soon.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Shaquana's been on us about it. She's absolutely correct.
Yeah, and like I said, always check us out. We want to be putting some videos up, just to check it. And, we don't put anything out there. We're not going to promise you, hey, tomorrow you're going to become a billionaire or millionaire. If, people are telling you that, you need to run. It takes time, to get there. So.
Hey, one currency pair at a time. That's it.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for everything. Ms. Shaquana, Mr. Peters, you want to stay on just a couple more minutes afterwards?
Yeah,
sure.
Can we'll close this one down. We'll close this one down. Y'all send me a link and we'll get on the new one. That way your recording can be saved.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. And again, you guys, much appreciated to everyone. Even just talking to us, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Yep. All right.
Okay, I think we're the only ones left in here, right?
Yeah, okay, so let me, you just want to text and let it get on her Zoom? Start creating another link?
Yeah, we can, man. Because we want to stop this one because of the recording, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave this one and let's just text until we jump on her Zoom.
Okay, sounds good, bro. All right, I'm gonna exit out of this one so the recording stops.
Okay.
All right.